In this world of extreme division, there's one issue every Duluthian agrees on. We need more housing. But it turns out one of the biggest barriers to creating more housing is Duluthians. This is a city full of NIMBYs, not in my backyard. I want more housing, but don't touch that plot of woods. I want more housing, but not that kind of housing. Or I want more housing, but not more traffic. Talk to any developer or housing leader, and they will tell you we'd have more places to live in Duluth if there was a citywide attitude adjustment. So in the midst of this housing crisis, there's a growing bipartisan movement aimed at shoving NIMBYs aside and building everywhere.
And being able to walk here.
For 50 years, Craig and Barb Ellingson have hiked from their home to Hartley Park.
We can come, we can walk, we can bike, we can snowshoe and ski in the winter.
Nature serving as the lifeblood of their relationship in every season.
We like things the way they are right now.
But a proposed development right across the road is seen by the couple as a barrier to their woodland way of life.
And it's a big concern.
These 8 acres off Woodland Avenue is where a company wants to construct 2 buildings. Each would house 30 condos for purchase.
My concern is right off the bat the safety of people pulling in and out of this area.
If they expanded, it would take down a lot of those beautiful trees.
It's a sentiment shared by more than 1,000 of their neighbors who signed this petition titled Keep the Woods in Woodland, some of them showing up at a recent Planning Commission meeting.
I'm concerned about the loss of green space and historic land.
In the world of real estate and construction, this resistance to new development by existing residents is called NIMBY, not in my backyard.
And I'm kind of a NIMBY, I guess.
It's resistance we've seen to a lot of development plans in Duluth, often resulting in delays, fewer units, hesitance by developers to even make a proposal, and the denial or withdrawal of construction plans altogether, like what happened in Lester Park a year ago.
Love the parks that surround our home. That's why we chose this area.
That was one of the many Hawk Ridge Estates residents who opposed plans for a new development on a neighboring plot of land. After heavy protests, the developer walked away.
People don't like change, and quite frankly, we haven't been a community that has seen a lot of growth.
Lynn Marie Nephew is a Duluth City Councilor and real estate agent who sees and hears NIMBY protesting in both lines of work.
And we have a lot of land that hasn't been developed in Duluth, and a lot of people have assumed that it's theirs or it's part of a park system, and it's just not. It's privately owned.
According to the city of Duluth, when it comes to public parks and natural lands, we have 2 to 3 times that of other U.S. cities of similar size and similar demographics. And that's why housing advocates here say if it's not meant for the public, it should be meant for development.
And we need to accept that, and we need to get out of the way of developers.
So this is all considered one parcel.
David Shafroth has lived in Duluth for 8 years. He says he's unable to save for a house because of rising rent and home costs, fueled in part by a low housing stock.
Every year without fail, the rent goes up $100 a month.
City figures show the average monthly rent in Duluth has risen 21% in those 8 years. The median Duluth home price over that time has jumped 40%. That is Minnesota's more than 100,000 housing units short. Duluth more than 3,000 short.
I know personally I've had to put off getting married, had to put off the whole plan of having kids, starting a family, because the cost of housing is too dang high.
Shafroth's disillusionment and background in construction estimation led him to a group called North Shore YIMBY. Yes, in my backyard.
A YIMBY is someone that wants to see Duluth thrive.
The movement calls for more housing, opposing density limits, and many zoning practices. And its members say the biggest NIMBY of all
This is potentially buildable.
Is the city itself.
You might end up spending more money on attorney's fees than you would on actually building something.
Now, this is Duluth's original UDC, or Unified Development Code. It's all development-related regulations, just 34 pages back in 1927. And this is it now, 400 pages of zoning and building regulation, some of it standing in the way of new housing. And that's why some in St. Paul want to take much of this book and send it in the garbage.
Today, we as a group of Republicans and Democrats stand together in addressing the issue that is core of every Minnesota community, housing.
Last month, conservatives and liberals locked arms, unveiling a very YIMBY package of bills called Yes to Homes. In doing so, Minnesota joined 43 other states introducing legislation aimed at removing rules and regulations used by NIMBYs to slow new construction. The bills would take a hatchet to portions of Duluth's UDC, requiring expedited reviews of housing proposals, less public input, more density, including triplexes and fourplexes, the elimination of parking requirements, and potentially doing away with planning commissions altogether.
It's not a scary thing. It's an opportunity to improve our housing density, which brings up our economic base.
Both Duluth state reps champion the legislation alongside all North Shore YIMBYs.
We need more homes everywhere of every shape, every variety, every finish. And just because you personally might not like something doesn't mean someone else shouldn't have the opportunity to build their future in Duluth.
Do you feel like that takes away the voice of the people who already live in a neighborhood?
So I think that is a fundamental debate going on in America right now.
But the debate is settled as far as the Ellingsons are concerned. The Woods should stay in Woodland since they're the reason they call this neighborhood home.
I think we've accommodated a lot of things that have changed in our neighborhood, so I don't see us as NIMBYs at all, as long as it makes sense. This doesn't seem to make sense.
And a lot of Minnesota cities don't think the Yes to Homes package of bills makes sense. They're lobbying against it out of fear of losing local control. Now, I reached out to the city of Duluth to see where our administration stands. In a statement, a spokesperson said the city supports efforts to improve access to housing, but that it's important to maintain local control as communities adapt to their unique evolving needs. Now, experts tell us that if the bills do pass, they won't solve Duluth's housing crisis, but it would help. We'll keep you updated.